Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for a fireside chat about customer experience boost through contact center performance improvement. My name is Elena. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Ender Turing, the fastest to value speech analytics solution on the market. And I'm the host of today's event. Today we have Christina, an organization growth expert. Christina will challenge me with live questions on contact center metrics, speech analytics, and customer experience. Let's begin, Christina. I'm entirely at your disposal.
Thank you, Olena. I'm happy to be here today and excited to discuss the topic that I extremely love, customer experience boost through gathering insights in contact centers. So are you ready for my first question?
Shoot it.
Okay, so it's always interesting to hear how people define customer experience. And so tell me your formulation of what customer experience is.
I love the question that we start with. The answer actually is in the question. Customer experience, it is what the customer experiences when interacting with the business at every touch point throughout the customer journey.
Mm-hmm. And can you give us a real-life example?
All right, let me try to do that. Imagine you want to get a loan from a bank, and you Google the top 5 banks in the area. You find 5 names. You start experiencing your interaction with that bank by reading their name and seeing their logo. But we will not touch this area of your experience. Then you click the first name and appear on a bank's website. And you browse the website in search for the specific information, how to get a loan. And this is actually your experience of getting the first information you need. And how was it? Was it easy, complete, comprehensive? From what you read, how the process looks like? Seems to be straightforward, fast, or you have started getting it as a complicated and unpleasant for some reason?
Oh, okay. Well, probably I liked it.
That's great that you like it. Okay, then let's complete this. So you find it okay, and you fill out the form to start the process. Also, was that form easy to complete? And then you get a call from a banker. Their goal is to make a deal with you, to get a deal with you. And your experience of this call is also a part of your customer experience.
Okay, so every touch point widens my experience. And where is the contact center placed in it?
Here we are. I might not Google, but see an advertisement and call directly because I saw a good offer and I want to get more information, or I browsed the web page and got lost. So didn't understand some points and need a clarification. So I clicked for a live chat with the bank representative or just called, and contact center can be a part of all this experience at every step.
All right, so contact center can be a part of the complete customer experience or significantly influence the overall experience through these multiple touches. But what can we do to deliver the exceptional customer experience, and how can actually contact center put their part in it?
Yeah, there is a saying, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I heard that. That's by Peter Drucker.
I believe so. And earlier it was a bit different formulation of that. If you don't measure it, you cannot improve it. And that's from some famous physicist. But it's true to the business performance. To manage customer experience, we have to measure it. Ideally, we understand the customer journey and can measure customer experience at every touch point.
Yeah, but let's talk about contact center first. So what metrics are the most essential to measure customer experience in the contact center?
I believe everyone listening today will agree that the customer satisfaction score is the indicator, but it doesn't give us an idea of what we must change to improve it. That's why we have more metrics to watch And yeah, I believe that we have to move in that direction.
Okay, and can you name those metrics in order of its impact on customer experience, like from the most important to the least important?
I would name 5 main. First call resolution or first contact resolution. Recently, we created an online poll and more than 1,300 people voted. First call resolution has been chosen by 81% of voters as the most influential on customer satisfaction. And the second would be percentage of blocked calls.
And what does it mean?
The number of calls when the client listens to a busy tone or music, well, just imagine or recall your experience when you call a bank or insurance and you then listen to this music until you reach the real person that can help you.
Okay, so that's two metrics, FCR and this number of blocked calls. And what do you think the next one?
The number 3 is average time in queue. And number 4 would be after call work that agents take.
Wait a second. This is the time that agent spends finalizing call results, I guess, like sends out emails, maybe register some cases. But how does it influence customer satisfaction so much that you name it as the 4th metrics?
Yeah, so the more it looks not obvious, but the more time agents spend finalizing after call work, the more pressure is on them. They need to be on the line helping clients or making sales, not stuck in the complex systems or processes, right? So an unhappy agent that's stuck in all those processes produces lower customer service quality. That's just statistics.
That's interesting. That is a strong connection between employee experience and customer experience. And what is number 5?
Yeah, by the way, I love how you connected employee experience and customer experience. That's indeed a great topic to talk about, but let's move forward with the metrics. So number 5, I would call service level. The service level threshold is the number of calls answered within a specific period measured in seconds. There are at least 5 more metrics to look at. So I named top 5, but I believe there is quite a lot other metrics that should be mentioned, but let's stop with those 5. Yeah, top 5.
I'm slightly surprised that there is no average handle time among them. But this is the most measured metric across contact centers, and it is mentioned in literally every article or post about KPIs for contact centers. Why
That's
is
true.
that?
Yeah, that's true. Average handle time is a great indicator. We should still keep it in the contact centers. And sometimes I see people say that this is outdated metric, we have to get rid of it. I don't agree. In the terms of customer experience and customer service, a customer satisfaction score, this would be number 9 or even 10, but not further. If just imagine why. So if customer need has been satisfied within first contact, and it is okay to take a longer time to solve it. So the customer would be much happier to solve their problem for a little bit longer time, but in one call than to make multiple calls, and even if they are short. Average handle time is more the metric for operational efficiency, but it doesn't make customer happy itself. So we can use average handle time as a great indication to check our operational efficiency. And then we have to understand the root cause if the average handle time is more than we put as a KPI for our call center. But we cannot push this KPI down to the agent. So agents have to have absolutely different priorities and KPIs. FCR, yes. AHT, no.
Okay, got it. Well, let's imagine that we measured all the metrics, let's say 10 key indicators. So how do we know what we need to change in order to improve customer satisfaction?
From a contact center perspective, this is a good set when you have all the KPIs in place. But what is necessary is to have a technology stack that allows measuring those metrics almost real time. Then we can take an action timely. Also, for some metrics, it is possible to take action just from seeing the numbers. But others, we need to conduct a fast and as cheap as possible root cause analysis, actually to get an idea of what causes deviation from a set number for this KPI.
Do you mean like conversation analysis or speech analytics?
Well, yes and no. About many KPIs and metrics, speech analytics doesn't give a clue. It would help if you had a great contact center solution. Like, for example, we have integration with this talk desk. It's a great, powerful system. I probably even would recommend it. But speech analytics is an excellent tool to go deeper into root cause analysis for metrics like first contact resolution, average handle time, sales to service ratio, conversion rate for sales teams, and customer effort score. Without the overhead, we can get understanding of drivers for contact center metrics behavior.
Yeah, recently I read a report by, I suppose, Accenture about the unstructured data analytics, where they say that 80% of information in enterprises is unstructured. And this is about unstructured documents, of course, but also the same we can say about voice and chat data stored in contact centers. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, exactly. So voice and chat conversations are truly unstructured data. And when we are talking about the global silo of information in the companies, contact centers are in a greater position because they can convert unstructured data of conversations into business insights more cheaply than all other departments, because the technology allows that already.
Okay, and how exactly the insights from conversations can be used to drive positive change in customer experience?
We already touched the first contact resolution as the number one KPI to drive customer satisfaction in contact center. So to analyze what causes repetitive contacts, we can use speech analytics. First, to track all the conversations where customers explicitly say they have already contacted the company. And by statistics, actually, if a person already had some touches with the company, they will produce this verbally in the conversation. For example, I already called your company. I talked to your colleague. I've been to a branch of your bank. I browsed your website. And then the question arises. We need to know the topic of the conversation, and then we gathered all the conversations where customer mentions that this is not the first contact with the company. And secondly, we need to know the topic of the conversation, and better if this topic classified or got from the speech analytics, not from the drop-down menu that the agent makes a selection from.
And why is that? Why should the topic also come from speech analytics?
Well, it is great if the list of conversation topics is always up to date and created as clearly as possible. So the agent doesn't experience a hard time choosing. But in many cases, speech analytics is more precise way to classify interactions by topics. And it can be done in more detail than the drop-down menu without overwhelming agents. So imagine that we have thousands of detailed topics because they are made as a tree of different conversations. For agents, it will be a really bad experience to choose from such a list. But the speech analytics can do this automatically just in seconds.
It would be interesting to see it once during the live demo of speech analytics you talk about.
Well, we could do a demo on topic classification, but this is outside of the scope of today's chat. So just to continue, how speech analytics helps to find out the root cause of repetitive calls. We analyze all the conversations that mention that this is not first contact to the company. This is done automatically in speech analytics, where the keywords system can identify if customer contacting not for the first time. Then these conversations are divided by topics, and we need to check all the other metadata available in a visual form. So most frequently asked questions inside the conversation or keywords, time of those conversations, I mean the period of time, whether it is time, day, month, then duration, silence period in a call. It doesn't only hold time, it doesn't mean only hold time, but if agent doesn't put the client on hold, still a long silence present, and speech analytics can do that. Then what agents who are in the team producing a lot of those repetitive calls to whom the customer reward, and different touch points of their customer journey. All this connected can show us a possible big chunk of courses. With speech analytics, it just takes minutes to get this information.
And what can we get out of it?
Well, as I said, when we selected a meaningful batch of such conversations, we can dig in by manually skimming the conversation main parts. Suppose we found out that all 30 repetitive calls have the same issue. So we skimmed those and we understood that. We can say with a high probability that the rest of the calls within this batch will belong to the same problem. Usually to check the point of interest in every conversation takes seconds. In 5 minutes, we can get an impression from approximately 30 conversations.
Sounds like real magic. In 10 minutes to find out the root cause of a major number of repetitive contacts. How is it possible to get through the conversation so fast? Like 30 conversations in 5 minutes, it is 10 seconds per conversation. Seems not realistic.
Well, with the proper setup of speech analytics, it takes one click to get to the needed conversation. Here in front of you, the full transcript of the conversation, and you can see all necessary marks, tags right on the text. So to scroll and find a place you look for takes few seconds. So imagine that you have this already a text with marked part where customer says that they're contacting not for the first time, and then revealing the reason. So to read that line or two to get the idea of the reason for customer call, a few seconds more. So then you just move to the next conversation. So fast.
And how long does it take to set up speech analytics in the way that you can do this complex analysis so fast?
Well, to generalize is very difficult because speech analytics systems are all different. For the end-to-Turing system, it may take a week or two, but this is a very flexible system. At the same time, has a great user interface and doesn't require engineers for the design setup. There are a lot of other systems on the market that have existed for like 15 years and didn't change a lot. For such systems, you definitely need a dedicated team to work with. And it may take up several months to make the setup properly, plus regularly make regular changes in it also needs additional hands.
Yeah, and here we come to the topic that worries a lot of top managers. I saw in one of the researches a couple of years ago that like 81% of companies report that they didn't get positive return on investments in speech analytics implementation. What do you think about it?
I know about the many failed projects in this area, that's true. I cannot refer to that number of 81%, because I didn't see like this in analytics. But yeah, this is not the just small number of cases. That's quite a lot. In most cases, from what I know, it was for a number of reasons. First of all, when a company buys the solution, they pay for a setup and consulting hours. And this misunderstanding of how many hours will be needed for this consulting and setup leads to the point that the project is not ready. So the analytics is not set up to the last point. And then, yeah, it's just abandoned solution. Nobody uses it. No internal expertise in the company also. So when the vendor left, or system integrator or somebody who implemented it, then company just left with the software that they don't know what to do with.
Yeah, I saw a couple of such projects. So, shortly speaking, first, all systems are complex and require a dedicated team to work with it. And second, I would say that companies are left without internal expertise on how to adjust systems for changing business conditions.
Yeah, I would sum up this way, but there is one more reason that I didn't mention. If speech analytics comes as a part of a bigger contact center solution, usually it is treated by the vendor as an add-on, not the main product. So its development is not a priority. When company needs new features or some improvements, it can take months or even years, literally. Or they pay a lot for customization. So then it is constant additional payments that drive ROI to negative numbers on this speech analytics project. We had a feedback from a big governmental call center that used to have a big name speech analytics solution. When COVID appeared and they had to track all mentions of this word, COVID, in conversations, it took that brand 4 months to add this new word in the system to be recognized properly.
Oh, wow, 4 months, that's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So, can you name the main important points on how to get the value, actually, to get value out of speech analytics and make this project positive on return on investment?
Yeah, that's complex. I will try to name some, but of course, in every case, it should be worked out separately. So let me try to formulate it. First, it should be really easy to navigate for all users. So if the system allows different business units, departments to get value out of it, make sure everyone gets a whole idea of how they will use it in a few hours. That's about a straightforward user interface and navigation. Then secondly, I would name that it integrates seamlessly into the infrastructure and current processes in the company. It has to be connected to call center solutions, CRM system, other systems if the process requires it. So standalone speech analytics doesn't work. It is a tool for the data science department, then it has nothing to do with the fast business results or value. So that's two. Let's think. Yeah, high speech recognition accuracy, 80% of words recognized correctly is a gold standard. Also, the system should be able to adapt different accents, ideally in a week's term, not months. And one more I forgot, but I will name it. And its number 4 will be, but not by priority, but by order. The system should be very flexible and easy to adjust for company needs and do not require IT team involvement. It is about new words, terms to add, new accents to add, new tags analytics, dashboards, and lots of other stuff. So if setting up first call resolution analysis requires getting engineers involved, no go. If seeing the dashboard on proper customer verification analytics needs some hands out of the call center, no go.
That's
I would
a very
say
strict demands, I say. But I suppose once the company has enough resources, maybe it's not so critical, you know.
Let's wrap up this speech analytics topic because I can talk about it for hours. And my last point here, speech analytics is something the company plans to use for years. It's not a tool to take in, make necessary analysis and forget. It's an integral part of quality assurance process where it cuts time for it. Training, coaching, also a huge time saver for compliance, marketing, operations, and customer experience team as well. So the big problem is then somebody underestimates how fast everything changes. And the external teams need to adjust speech analytics setting. This will be a blocker.
Well, I believe this can be so exciting conversations about the speech analytics implementation and how to make it really work. But actually, we don't have much time to left. So I also want to get back to customer experience. And we mentioned one more topic in the preview of this webinar. How do we build an ecosystem of processes, technology, and mindset in an organization to boost customer experience through the contact center or call center?
I would say this is the most important part of our conversation today. At the beginning of our conversation, we explained what customer experience is, and that's exactly what I wanted to repeat. It is an experience the customer gets at every touch point of their customer journey related to a company. So it means that we have to know what happens at every step. Recently, I had a conversation with a head of contact center department in fintech company in Singapore. I liked what he said. Contact center itself doesn't produce problems or complexity. It is the point where a customer gets when other paths don't work out for them. I couldn't complete a purchase, let's imagine that, through self-service, or the product or service didn't work as it should, and something happened outside of a contact center, so I had to reach out. The main idea is that contact center, in many cases, sits on data on why customers get in trouble at some point. So, and this data is unstructured, as you already mentioned from this Accenture report. Big companies have separate business analysis departments or data science departments that work with this unstructured data and provide insights to the relevant business units. First of all, not every company has it. I mean, those resources for business analysis, data science. Secondly, I would say that with the current artificial intelligence and machine learning progress, there is less and less need to have an additional layer between business and data. Proper system setup exclude a need in data scientists or a lot of manual work to analyze conversations content and provide exact business ideas about actions required.
Yeah, agree. So this is how it has to be. And what is the technology stack you would name as the most efficient one?
Well, yeah, also not an easy question. I would say more than a powerful contact center solution, that's first thing, then workforce management, of course, knowledge management, quality assurance software, CRM, and speech analytics, which is seamlessly integrated with all of the other parts.
Okay, so we are now close to the final minutes of our conversation with many exciting topics to discuss. And of course, I'd love to get more information about every one of them, about KPIs, metrics, processes, and of course, technology. But I hope we will have more webinars following, so we can then focus on a specific topics. And maybe let's have a short overview of Andy Turing as well.
Of course, happy to do it.
By the way, speaking about Andy Turing speech analytics solution, what industries or businesses does it suit the best?
Our main customers are medium and big companies. I would say that starting from 20, 25 agents in a call center is a good start. And we have happy customers among internal call centers from public institutions, financial services, banking, insurance, telco, e-commerce, and travel.
And what about the company's economic effect of AI solution implementation? What is the profit? How do we calculate it?
Oh, this is a many parameter formula where we take time savings in quality assurance processes, training, coaching, then improvements in customer satisfaction score, which is also driven by very well set up speech analytics. For sales departments, this is also conversion rates, number of closed deals per hour, the sales to service ratio in mixed call centers, and others. So it really depends on what process we apply speech analytics to, or we do this overall for the complete organization. Then in ROI, we can include all the parts and pieces of that.
I think that to make the C-level of big enterprise companies believe that customer experience boost products can change their contact center performance, they would require some, I don't know, trial period or something. Doesn't the Turing provide such an option?
What we do is we provide for the client a demo tool of the solution. If a client is interested, then we are going into a pilot project. The main goal is to show the company how easy, user-friendly, more than speech analytics solution is, and what opportunities it gives for contact center, for operations, for customer experience. Usually the C-level from customer experience can see the result of our cooperation in a month or two.
Okay. So what would you recommend to the participants of our webinar?
Oh, wow. Okay, then if you feel that there is an area of improvement in customer experience or call center operations in the company you work for, don't hesitate to ask for a demo tool of Andy Turing solution or any other available on the market, actually. Get familiar with the technology, with the possibility. It's good to have additional information, be aware of existing tools, and it helps with career as well.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Okay, so we ran out of time today, and I appreciate everyone who devoted their time to be here with us. We will follow up with the webinar recording. And so if you want to share with colleagues or watch yourself, you'll have it. And I invite you all to join our contact center and customer experience community. If you are not in it yet, we will send the link and invitation. And let's meet in a month for the next webinar. The subject, I think, will be revealed very soon.
Thank you, Christina, for a great conversation. It was a great time to having this conversation with you. And thank you, everybody who listened to us today. Hope to see you soon. Stay in touch.
See you.